Hello. This is week 2 of the audio journal here. Don't have as much to talk about as last time. However, I think it's more important this time. I think also I gotta first clarify. I'm so sorry how much I say sort of. I didn't even notice. Like I'm sure in this recording I'm probably gonna say like the same thing over and over again and not even notice. I guess it's good to listen to these back just to realize how great I am at speaking. Sarcasm, obviously. Anyway, we got things to talk about today. Despite not being as much as last week, I think it's more important because I think last week I sort of lost the plot. Sounds a bit harsh, but I sort of just lost the focus of these recordings, and I tried to bring it back. But also, I don't know. We'll just see where it goes. So yeah, I think the main thing is that I want to stop doing these. I think while publicly accountable is useful, I think simultaneously I think it does replace a lot of the doing with just more of saying that I'm doing. As I said last week, these audio recordings are an opportunity for me to fake progress rather than make progress, and I'd rather just sort of sit down, like not say anything, just sort of just head down, make progress rather than have to come on here every week and then go, hey guys, I'm making progress. I do think being publicly accountable pretty useful, to be fair. Can't deny that. I think the benefit of being publicly accountable kind of just came from the first video, like week 0, just saying that I want to do more things on my own on Roblox. That's kind of all I needed to say. I feel like I don't need to go into the specifics, and I don't particularly want to. Not because it's like crazy embarrassing or anything like that, but I think I just wanted to say that this is what I would like to do, and I wanted to sort of leave the entire process of how up to me and not have to speak about that. I just kind of wanted an opportunity for me to say this is where I'd like to go, and then hopefully over however many months, years, whatever, I will get there. And I just feel weekly recordings, it's difficult to find a lot of benefit in week to week because not much changes week to week. Again, when the timeline for trying to be sort of personally autonomous when developing games, when the timeline for that is possibly years, it feels difficult to speak week to week. While I do acknowledge it would be really nice to have the journey to look back on, I just think it's a lot of hassle for not much benefit, and as I said, I think it could be even to my detriment because I think it could be replacing the satisfaction of doing things with saying that I'm doing things. And while I acknowledge the fact that I probably look a little bit stupid now, I guess 2 weeks ago now, I'm like, hey, I want this to be a thing. I'm going to do it weekly. And now, only on the second week in, it's getting dropped. I do acknowledge it, probably pretty embarrassing. I probably don't sound very admirable or anything like that. But I think I guess I'm willing to take that forward. I think I'm okay stopping these again. I don't find myself terribly obsessed with what people think of me. And that probably sounds like a big cope and whatever, but I don't know. I just don't feel terribly upset at stopping doing these. Again, I do want to remind the imaginary audience, there will be 2 more. I'm going to do week 3, I'm going to do week 4, and we're going to cut it there. As much as I don't see crazy benefit in these, I do think there's a little benefit here and there, in the ability to recap things or to reflect on the past week, and also for future me, long-time future me, to sort of look back and look at these videos, reminisce or whatever. So there are benefits, but I think most notably there are downsides, and I'd like to stop doing these videos, not ASAP, but within 2 more weeks. I think that's the main thing. I guess, do I have anything more to say? And also, I think I said, I guess in the start, I'm sort of more of an introvert, and I just prefer to head down and just work rather than have to do this thing every week where I talk about things. And again, I imagine because week to week isn't crazy difficult, or not difficult, crazy different, I'd just end up doing what I did last week, which is just kind of talking about despite it being I talked about a lot of things, I sort of said nothing in the end. There wasn't any benefit, there wasn't any just usefulness in the moment. It kind of just felt like an opportunity for me to just talk about random junk, and maybe it sounds smart, but again, it doesn't really benefit much to me, and it just wasn't what I would hope these audio recordings could be. I understand that I can adapt, and I think in weeks 3 and 4 of the audio recording, I'm going to try and maybe look for that option to adapt, so then maybe I could keep doing this. But for the moment, and if I don't foresee or see a way to make that change to bring benefit back to these audio recordings, then I think I'm going to stop them. again, yeah, I acknowledge that it's I probably look quite stupid, but I think I'm willing to take the blow, and I think I've learned a fair amount. I guess just about me and my relationship, but with public perception and stuff like that. And yeah, again, truthfully, I do think that just I felt really good after posting that first video, and then after posting week 1 last week, I sort of felt nothing. I kind of went, I mean, sure, I got an opportunity to talk about whatever I'm reading, or whatever I'm thinking, and I don't know, just other things about the week, and other just random thoughts, but I don't actually remember where I was going with that. I've actually probably repeated myself a lot, so I think I've just got to move on. Last week I did a really good job at not repeating myself, which I was really happy about, but now that I'm not feeling as confident as last week, and I'm back to how I feel on week 0, I'm back to repeating myself. I'm so sorry. And also, there's a thing, there's like lots of people who are in sort of a position that I would like to be in, don't talk publicly accountable, and they don't need this sort of crutch to help them on their journey. And I think I would like to, I'd just like to be able to live without doing these recordings. I would like motivation to solely come from within, and I acknowledge, I mean, that's a difficult task, but I think I would like to still try to pursue it and not just take the easy way out, not like massively easy way out, but take this route where I'm not sort of maybe forcing myself to grow a bit more. Okay, I think we'll end that sort of train of thought on the future of these videos, or of audio journals and things like that, and we're going to talk about, I said in the last video, I said I would like the project I'm working on to have a 2024 release date, and I think I posted the video on Sunday, and on Monday I was like, I'm not doing that. And I guess this goes back to what, to the point I was just making about how spontaneous I am with making decisions like that. But yeah, 2024 release date for the project I'm working on. No, not happening. Not out of, I don't think I can do it. I think it goes with enough discipline. I think it could get done. But a big thing is that if I want it out before 2024, the list of things I would like in the game has to come to quite a small list. And while, that's good for efficiency and, to get something out there, simultaneously it removes a lot of the things I care about the game. It removes a lot of the game's, most importantly, at least to me, it removes a lot of the game's identity. And I think the game just becomes just like nothing if I try to squeeze myself into a 2024 release date. The game just becomes something just truthfully I don't care about, I don't want to work on, I don't want to do. So I think, because it's obviously tough. I mean, it's a tough trade-off, because it would be nice to get something out there, just sort of get the ball rolling and stuff like that, because of course there are problems that will arise even after releasing a game, and it'd be great to have those problems come at me sooner so I could solve them sooner. But simultaneously, I don't really want to release something I don't care about. I still want to enjoy the process of making games, and I acknowledge it's not always going to be sunshines and rainbows, but to some degree I just want at least a fundamental core care in what I'm working on. And I think reducing the game's scope to reach a 2024 release date just truthfully just strips all care about the game I have. And I noticed that, I think, in last week, and for a little bit of this week, I just noticed that what I was working on, it was no longer okay, how are people going to interpret the environment I'm working on, how are people going to interact with this feature, blah 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 blah. It was kind of just okay, just do this so I can move on to the next thing. Just get it out as quickly as possible. And I guess primarily last week I was working on some of the map portions of the game, so that kind of just became, just drag these assets around into their places, make a living room, make a dining room, whatever. And it no longer became about, okay, how can we make this environment captivating? How can we reflect the characters that live there or whatever? And stuff like that. And that, at least for me, is, I guess, where the enjoyment, the meat and potatoes of making a game comes from. It's not about making a product as quickly as possible. It is about making something that you enjoy making and people will enjoy playing, I guess. Again, I do acknowledge how, the way of the world isn't so fortunate to mass amounts of patience with game development, of course. I think deadlines and other things like that will always be a factor that I have to keep in mind throughout wherever I want to go. But I think, at least for the moment, it just feels right to just let go the restraints and build up a care back in the game. And especially, we're talking about the rut again, especially thanks to that, I think I just kind of need just a little bit of easiness on myself, so I can again build up a care for the game, and then once we're there, and then we have that sort of constant level. I mean, of course, it will always be fluctuating, but hopefully when we have a more stable level, I'll be able to then bring the realities of life into the equation and go, okay, we're going to balance how much I can care for the game, how much effort I want to put into the game with how much effort I feasibly should be putting in, and and other just like I guess the business side of things, whatever that really means. Not that I'm treating this game as a business. As I said, it's just solely a learning experience. But again, I want to just give myself some of those little sprinklings of reality into the development experience, just because I think difficulties like that are always useful for learning. So yeah, I guess, and again, it's also kind of embarrassing to say that thing last week, immediately go back on it. But I suppose I guess the lesson for me is just I think it's okay to say one thing and go back on it. Maybe not when you've got people's expectations into the mix and things like that, but at least for you, I think, especially. Okay, yeah, I don't want to have this going back on things belief permeate everything I do for however long I'm lucky enough to be making games, but at least for the moment, I think I do need, as I'm figuring out my bearings, I think it's okay to have that, okay, this is what we're going to do, or should we, because without it, I think I'm just going to pigeonhole myself, and I think that wouldn't be useful. While the importance of deadlines is very real, very true, I think simultaneously, it's the quote about making, the Miyamoto quote, is that who says it? Delay your game or I'll delay your breathing. He doesn't say that. He says a rushed game is always forever bad, and then a good game, a delayed game is eventually good. Not sure why that I decided to say that, but I guess I try to believe that to some degree, especially because I think some of my favorite games are examples of that. I'm actually really trying my hardest not to just repeat the same thing I just said regarding either these audio journals or 2024 as a release window. I guess we'll talk about the week. Wasn't fantastic. It didn't feel as like a step in the right direction. It just, I don't know, I think it's so tough to say, but again, this rut is still present, and of course I'm perpetually trying to figure out how to solve it. I think probably the answer is just stay real with myself, and I think stopping these videos as soon as I can. Well, I guess that'll be in 2 weeks' time. That's not like as soon as I can. I mean, it's not like no one's holding me hostage to stop and say you must do 2 more. But it's just, at least for me, I think I just feel it would be important. Just give them a final 2 more, just to squeeze as much as I can out. I was saying that, I think I need to stay real with myself, because I think a big component of the rut, of course I've theorized about it for the entirety of these audio journals, but another big component is, I think, just human ignorance, my ignorance, I guess, more specifically. But I think I just sort of not as real as with myself as I probably could be, and again, these audio journals are a testament to that to some degree, I suppose. So just stay real with yourself. But again, I'd say at least right now, the biggest thing that I really feel is the component of the right is just the project I'm working on. Yeah, its interest has dropped and dropped and dropped. I think it's slowly rising thanks to the alleviation of deadlines. But simultaneously, the game has, I guess I'm plagued by a problem where I can come up with a bunch of ideas, but they sort of sit there, and then it takes a while to act on them. So by the time I have new ideas, it's like ages later. And I think right now, I don't really have many new ideas for the game on my mind. And this doesn't particularly mean like specifically new features or anything like that, but I think just like new angles to look at it from, new I guess inspirations, things like that. I think they're just, at least for me, they're very personally important. I guess, as I said last week, with having role models and things like that, I think equally for the creative side of making things, having important inspirations is really nice. And recently that's been lacking. I think I've been trying to look around or just think a little bit further than what I have already thought, because I'm sort of caught in a circumstance where the game the game is what the game is. At least for me, I find myself struggling to think of it or to make it grow. I think I'm picturing the game as like solely what it is right now, and nothing more, nothing less. Like it's just like a constant. Like it just exists. There is nothing I can do to change it, and stuff like that. And I think that needs to change. And I guess the best way to change that is action. I think if I can work on new things, if I can keep progressing, I will see things from new angles. And I think I think just putting myself into more uncomfortable situations with the development, because I think at right now I'm a big planner. I've sort of got lots of ideas sort of written down, but not terribly much of them acted upon. And I think acting upon them will bring out new ideas. It will bring out challenges I'll have to face, and then hopefully new inspirations and things like that. I guess what I need to do is just act on some of the things that have been just written down and not acted upon for so long. They've just sort of been written down and they're integrated into the identity of the game, but they haven't been explored in a way that unlocks new excitement and interest. So yeah, I think well, it doesn't matter. I guess the specifics don't matter. Maybe they do. I just don't want to talk about them as much right now. Not in like a ignorance way, but just like, well, the idea of acting upon them is just so fresh in my mind. I mean, I just kind of came up with that thought that I don't want to specifically give an example, just because maybe I fully don't understand what I've just said. Maybe I've got to give it more reflection to figure out the depths of how I can act to inspire further. Gosh, it's already been 23 minutes. I mean, 23 minutes of the recording. I'm sure the video, it's a lot less. I should probably... What else can we say? Yeah, I guess I thought I had more things to say, but I spent last week thinking about lots of things to say. I sort of spent the whole week sort of anticipating the audio journal, and I was really excited for it, and I guess that came through. I was sounding a lot more confident, a lot more happy, less sad and serious. But this week, I think, as I uploaded last week's video, I sort of went, oh gosh, okay, that was a kind of a big nothing burger. So, is that cringe to say? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I uploaded last week's journal, and then I kind of went, that didn't benefit me. There wasn't any. I didn't feel nice to do. And to be fair, I'm sure I'll upload this one and feel the same way. And maybe that's a reason to stop these even sooner, honestly. But I want to stick with them for more, just because I hope. I think, as I said at the beginning, hopefully I can maybe think about more ways to nudge them in the right direction, to bring out sort of new ideas that can ensure these audio journals actually bring me benefit. Otherwise, I'm confident with them stopping. I understand it. Again, it probably looks silly doing this for so little time, and I think the stopping of the audio journals doesn't mean the stopping of trying to make games on my own on Roblox. Yeah, and maybe I'll do more of these, just sort of off the cuff ones, like just randomly every now and then. If I feel like that urge to be like just a teensy tiny bit publicly accountable, I'll just sort of pop by here and just sort of talk. But I suppose we're getting into the territory that I should probably talk about in week 4. So I suppose we'll leave it there. Sorry for repeating myself so much. Hope you're doing all well, whoever's listening to this. And yeah, I'll see you another time. I'll see you in a week. Goodbye.